Hello and welcome to the news at 5. I am Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. The Economic Community of West African States have declared a state of emergency across the region. The president of ECOWAS Commission, Mr. Omar Toure, made the announcement during the 55th session of the Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level in Abuja. He says recent developments underline the imperative of serious introspection on the future of democracy in the region and the urgent need to invest in security. He also gave an assessment of West Africa's political climate, citing multiple incidents as evidence of a rapidly deteriorating security climate. Meanwhile, the Senate has approved President Bola Tinubu's request to deploy Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin in support of efforts to restore peace and stability following last weekend's attempted coup. The approval was announced by Senate President Godswill Akpabio after lawmakers considered the request in the Committee of the Whole in line of Section 5, Part 11. Senators unanimously voted in favor of the deployment, giving legislative backing for the regional security intervention. Senator Akpabio described the decision as a step in the right direction, noting that instability in any neighboring state poses a threat to the entire region. An injury to one is an injury to all, in his words. He underscored that it's Nigeria's responsibility to support its ECOWAS partner. The Senate's consent letter is expected to be transmitted to President Bola Tinubu immediately. Now to the incident involving the Nigerian Air Force airplane. The NAF have debunked claims of the arrest of its aircraft and crew members for alleged airspace violation in Burkina Faso. A statement signed by the Director of Public Relations and Information Headquarters, Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Ehime Ejodame, revealed that following the takeoff of the plane from Lagos, the crew of the aircraft during its ferry mission to Portugal on the 8th of December observed a technical concern which caused a precautionary landing in Burkina Faso, now the nearest airfield, in accordance with standard safety procedure and international aviation protocol. The statement adds that the crew is safe and have received cordial treatment from the host authorities, while plans are ongoing to resume the mission as scheduled. The statement further adds that the Nigerian Air Force appreciates the support received during the period and assured the public that it remains professionally committed to strict compliance with operational procedure and safety standards and to ensure the protection of its personnel while fulfilling its mandate. Now, in the meantime, in response to this, the Alliance of Sahel states made up of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, in their position, have contradicted the explanation provided by the headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force, as it insists that the Nigerian aircraft, which had been carrying 11 military personnel, did not have permission to fly over Burkina Faso. The statement called the landing an unfriendly act and says the country's respective air forces had been put on maximum alert and authorized to neutralize any aircraft, that is, neutralize any aircraft found to be violating the Confederation's airspace. However, the joint statement did not mention what happened to the 11 military personnel aboard the Nigerian plane. The trio of Sahel countries, all under military rule and battling long-running jihadist insurgency, maintain uneasy relations with our West African neighbors. In January, they left the regional bloc ECOWAS after forming their own alliance. The three states have also distanced themselves from the West, notably from former colonial ruler France, while drawing closer to Russia. As part of efforts to strengthen the capacity of the Navy to secure the nation's maritime space, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, is on the high seas to witness the 2025 annual naval exercise codenamed Eru-Obodo. While flagging it off, the CNS tasked participants to operate with tactical rigor, procedural precision, and uncompromising discipline. 16 naval ships and 4 helicopters are participating. Our correspondent Chris Ellems reports.
Top naval personnel and other military and law enforcement agencies arrived in Kada in Lagos for a major annual sea exercise codenamed Eru-Obodo, which means guardian of the nation. The Chief of Naval Staff will be leading the men to the high sea for the exercise, which will include fleet maneuvers, advanced gunnery, anti-piracy operations, amongst others. But first, a brief remark by the officer in Tactical Command.
Exercises like Eru-Obodo provide a veritable platform to test our fleet under realistic conditions, allowing us to validate doctrines, strengthen interoperability, and sharpen the tactical skills and operational maneuvers essential for maritime dominance.
The Chief of Naval Staff wants the participants to make the most of the opportunity to build capacity.
Let me emphasize that under the leadership and strategic guidance of the President and Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the Nigerian Navy stands fully prepared to undertake any mission assigned to us. Our readiness, strengthened through exercises like this, ensures that we stand as a reliable guardian of both Nigeria's maritime interests and the broader security architecture of the Gulf of Guinea. To all participating ships, helicopters, special forces, and supporting units, this is more than a routine drill. See it as a battle practice.
And then the flag off.
I know that is sounded on purpose, please.
Exercise Eru-Obodo, like many other joint maritime operations, is expected to help the Navy build competence and push their vessels to the limit for a secured Gulf of Guinea. Chris Elems, Channels Television News.
The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kade Egbetukun, is asking the police public relations officers across the country not to remain silent in the face of misinformation, warning that false narratives now spread too quickly for the Nigeria Police Force to ignore. Speaking at the 2025 Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Officers Conference in Abuja, he says modern policing now relies heavily on transparent communication and public engagement. He also explained that the force headquarters cannot respond to every circulating falsehood, but PPROs must act swiftly at the point where misinformation emerges, as they now operate on the front line of an information environment dominated by false narratives, manipulated visuals, and rapidly circulating online content. He added that while it's neither strategic nor feasible for the office of the IG or the force headquarters to respond to every distorted claim or sensational falsehood, silence is no longer an option.
The success and legitimacy of policing are no longer defined by operational capacity alone. They are increasingly determined by public trust, transparency, and the quality of communication between the police and the public. In this regard, your role as public relations officers is not peripheral. It is central to institutional performance and to the credibility of the Nigerian Police Force. The public relations function of the Nigerian Police has become a frontline operational instrument in the security environment where information warfare, misinformation, disinformation, and perception management have become major challenges. The battle for the mind is now as critical as the battle against crime. And you, our public relations officers, stand as commanders on the front line of that battle. We live in an era where policing thrives not merely on patrols and enforcement, but on transparency, accountability, and public cooperation. Our legitimacy is shaped by how we are seen, how we are understood, and how we communicate. The voice of the force is your voice. The story of the force is the story you craft and tell. Your responsibility, therefore, is not only powerful, it is indispensable.
Retirees who exited the Ogun State Public Service in July have called for the suspension of the recently introduced contributory pension scheme by the state government over alleged lapses associated with the scheme. Armed with placards with various inscriptions, The retirees say the pension scheme has continued to negatively affect their members, especially those with critical health issues. Addressing them, the permanent secretary in the State Bureau of Pensions, Ariola Adetayo, says that modalities are ongoing to ensure regular disbursement of the pensions to assuage their yearnings. She was also quick to ask the retirees to regularize their documents with the agencies they serve.
We are here to appeal to the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, on compassionate ground to suspend this CPS policy. It's a killer. It's a killer policy. We have worked for 35 years and retiring, nothing to show for it. The policy is a good policy, but right from the from inception, it has been faulty ab initio. The successive governments have been failing to fulfill their obligations.
The accrued pension rights, the CPS, arrears of CPS deductions, plus return on investment will be credited into the RSA account, retirement savings account. Any moment from now, we have gotten the approval for us to do that, and we are processing it. The person that the retirees that may not likely get their remittances into the RSA accounts and when due are those people that have not submitted their files, their documentation with a Bureau of State Pension. But aside from that, after the expiration of this palliative that commences in July till December, they will be getting their monthly pension from the RSA account.
Now, the House of Representatives today walked out the executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service from the chamber during its executive session. Channels Television gathered from one of the lawmakers that the FIRS chairman was walked out for allegedly being arrogant to the members. The lawmaker also revealed that the finance minister, who was also in attendance, assured members that the 2024 budget will be financed 100% within 48 hours, while the 2025 budget is to be extended to April immediately and 20% before the end of the year. Channels Television also gathered that lawmakers are insisting that the 2026 budget will not be received until all issues are resolved, as promised by the Minister of Finance. This comes on the heels of agitation by members for several weeks now over non-payment of contractors due to non-release of funds for the zonal intervention projects. To the aviation sector, the Senate has summoned the Minister of Aviation and key stakeholders for an urgent interaction following public outcry over the sudden and steep rise in domestic airfare across the country. The resolution came after Senator Buhari Abdul Fatai raised a motion on the floor of the Senate, warning that the soaring prices pose a serious threat to mobility and could trigger nationwide travel disruption in the coming days. Leading the debate, Senator Buhari noted that Nigerians have been complaining in recent months as the cost of domestic air flights continues to escalate. He revealed that a one-way ticket from Abuja to Lagos now costs between 400,000 and 600,000 naira, an amount many citizens can no longer afford. He also added that the situation is especially distressing given the increasing difficulty and insecurity on major highways. The Senate agreed that the aviation minister, airline operators, regulators, and other industry stakeholders must appear before its relevant committees this week to clarify the reason behind the soaring fares and to chart an immediate path towards stabilizing prices ahead of the holiday season. You're watching the news at 5 on Channels Television. Coming up, Edo State gets ready to host Edo Carnival 2025. We also have business news. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Edo State is set for carnival time as a vibrant parade took over the streets of Benin City, the state capital, on Monday, teasing what has been termed the biggest party of the year, or the Edo Carnival 2025. The colorful procession showcased Edo's rich heritage with a stunning float, lively bands, and energetic performance.
first time Edo is doing Edo Carnival, graciously approved by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, most distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo. You can see the excitement in the eyes and minds of Edo people right now. They are coming out en masse to see this for the first time, see a float drive around Ring Road. Is amazing. So this is what we are seeing today. And now, this is just a dry run. The main carnival comes up on the 21st to 27th of this month, December. So this is to say Edo people, they are going to have a reason to celebrate this Christmas in an atmosphere of prosperity. Just be guided that Edo is rich in culture, and such we are displaying to the world through this carnival.
As part of efforts to fast-track the development of Kogi State, the governor, Mr. Usman Ododo, has unveiled Ajaokuta Economic City, otherwise known as Kogi Union Free Trade Zone. Speaking at the unveiling ceremony in Abuja, he says Ajaokuta Economic City is a bold statement of intent to inform the world that Kogi State is ready to innovate, industrialize, and compete globally in order to set the stage for unprecedented economic growth. The governor added that the security of investors and other residents remains top priority as the state repositions to become a global economic hub.
This free trade zone will not only attract large-scale industrial investment, but will also unlock opportunities in manufacturing, agro-processing, logistics, technology, and innovation. Our higher institutions of learning, including the Federal University Lokoja, Prince Abubakar Audu University Anyamba, Conference University of Science and Technology Osara, and Kogi State University Kaba, and our polytechnics, we serve as a critical partners in skill development, research, and innovation support for the industries that will flourish within this zone. As we embark on this journey today, I want to assure investors and partners that security remains an uncompromising priority for my administration. We have strengthened intelligence operations, enhanced surveillance system, and deepened our collaboration with national security agencies. The Ajaokuta Economic City will operate under a dedicated security framework to protect lives, infrastructure, and capital. We understand that investment thrives in safe environment, and we are committed to providing exactly just that.
Now, in its bid to provide digital solutions to societal challenges, Jigawa State convened a community fair to promote interaction between infotech experts and the general public. The fair, with the theme Empowering Communities Through Digital Means, invites digital vendors to mentor young entrepreneurs and women on how to take advantage of the space. Our correspondent Abubakar Salihu reports.
Gathered in this hall are young entrepreneurs, infotech experts, social media influencers, and job creators interacting to provide solutions to basic societal problems. The convener of the fair, Jigawa State Information Technology and Digital Economy Agency, highlights some of the state's achievements in the digital space.
Jigawa State has a long-lasting legacy on ICT. Your Excellency, Jigawa State has a rich history in development. We have a rich history in ICT development long before many states begin to adopt digital system. Jigawa was already laying the foundation. And I will give you examples why Jigawa is still considered as the pioneer state in ICT. We have Galaxy Information Technology and Telecommunication Limited, which was one of the first internet service provider in sub-Saharan Africa. In fact, we now have Galaxy backbone in Abuja, and it was Galaxy in Jigawa that gave birth to the Galaxy backbone in Abuja.
One of the partners explains the rationale behind the choice of Jigawa State to host the fair.
And you will wonder why I usually say that. But the warmth, the openness, and cooperation of the government and the public service is unlike anywhere else in Nigeria. Jigawa State, you are truly blessed. You have a progressive government, people-focused approach that is truly inspiring, and every state is worthy to emulate.
In her address, the wife of Jigawa governor reaffirms the state government's commitment to the provision of an enabling environment for growth and innovations in information technology.
As the wife of the Jigawa state governor, I affirm our commitment to support human capital development, especially for women and youth. We believe that we build the capacity, we build families, and we build communities.
The experts believe that digital fairs will serve as platforms for empowering the less privileged to contribute their quota to digital economic growth through innovations. Abubakar Salihu, Channels Television News.
Welcome to Business News. As we begin in the oil and gas sector, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission have announced a sharp reduction in signature fees for the 2025 oil licensing round, lowering the minimum payment to $3 million in a move aimed at attracting new investors and boosting exploration activity. The Commission says the revised fee structure is part of a broader effort to make Nigeria's upstream sector more competitive and to remove barriers that previously discouraged participation in bid rounds. The adjustment follows consultations with industry stakeholders who called for more flexible fiscal terms to stimulate investment and global energy transitions. According to the NUPRC, the 2025 licensing round will feature a mix of greenfield and marginal assets with the expectation that the revised fees will draw local and international players. Nigeria's electricity distribution companies, the DISCOs, have raised an alarm over the mounting debt owed by federal and state government ministries, departments, and agencies, which they say have now exceeded 100 billion naira. The DISCOs, speaking through the Umbrella Association, say the growing backlog of unpaid electricity bills is worsening the financial strain on the power sector and undermining efforts to improve service delivery. According to operators, the debt burden has constrained their ability to invest in infrastructure upgrade, reduce technical losses, and expand metering. They warn that the sector's liquidity crisis will persist unless the government enforces stricter payment discipline amongst its agencies. And the federal government have announced an immediate ban on cash payment for all its services, directing ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, to adopt electronic payment channels nationwide. In a statement, authorities say the move is aimed at improving transparency, reducing leakage, and strengthening revenue collection across government platforms. Under the new directive, MDAs must install POS, point-of-sale terminals, and other approved digital payment systems to enable seamless transactions for citizens. The transition is expected to simplify payments for services such as licensing, registrations, permits, and fines, while also enhancing audit trails and reducing the risks associated with handling physical cash. And that's it on the news at 5. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide McCall.